morning, everyone. 7 languages, that was like exaggerated. So it's really great to be here. Thank you, Salma, thank you. And thanks to the team for inviting me. And okay, so I'm inspired by one of the speakers yesterday. So I was just like say, I'm Mohamed Sameh, I'm human. And I wanted to speak to you today about something that is, I think it's interesting to reflect on. It's urban planning, it's planning culture, it's how we look at things, and it's amazing how the different perspectives. And so someone asked me, okay, to put it under youthful cities today. Okay, it's like we could focus on like main aspects that youth would look for, but okay. We are today are going to talk about sort of urban development and how things are in different countries. And it's very nice to speak about that while we are in Ghana. And, you know, just in order to avoid being perceived as speaking of another planet, just wanted to, you know, run together through some photos to see how things are in different areas of the world when it comes to the urban area in which we live, yeah? So I will actually go, okay, yeah, very nice. So the presentation itself is like there are 3 main areas, like art, mobility, and security and stuff. But like I'm not going really to speak only about that. So I'll be very fast with the presentation. Like here, what would, since we are talking about youth, what would youth look for in a city? And fun, yeah. Expression of themselves through art or different ways, and to feel part of the game, right? It's funny, mentioning games. Yesterday we were talking with Ahmed Hussam, and my involvement in urban development starts with a game called Caesar around 24 years ago. Yeah, it's very interesting. And there are sort of different types of people. But it's very interesting. If you actually suppress part, it goes into the other direction. So let's see art in different areas, and what would we choose among? Yeah. So here's like that's a mural in Kiev, actually in Ukraine. Very interesting. Could you just like show that one, please? That's another mural. That's and another mural, please. Beautiful, right? Beautiful colors, life. And that's from Jordan. I believe we have one from Jordan in the audience. And that's graffiti, okay? So completely different type of expression, right? It's up to us to choose which space to leave to whom, okay? And that's very interesting. So I was just telling Salma, there are people that would like to. No, before that. No, before that. Yeah, to paint like that, and before that, to paint like that, and if you go ahead. No, before. Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
No worries. I would like to express themselves in this way, okay? Very interesting. Okay. Now, let's move on from art and think of, food. People gather everywhere. I come from Egypt and Italy, and in Italy, food is a culture, so we really are around the table all the time. And again, you see 2 main different ways of thinking. Food courts in shopping malls. Who is here, who has lived in Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, UAE, Kuwait, the Gulf countries, yeah? So, you go to a shopping mall, that's where you spend your life, actually, your time, and go up to the food court or down to the food court, and that's it. So that's a way of looking at where you actually gather around food, while there's other ways. So if you go ahead, yeah. So that's in the heart of London, and that's a food court, okay? So can we go back to the heart of London? That's a very interesting place, okay? That place has a story. It's called Mercato Metropolitano. It's made by Italians in the South Bank of London. And here it's very interesting. Now this area, as you see, This is actually an abundant newspapers factory, okay, that was used by drug dealers and criminality in the South Bank of London. So there's two ways of dealing with it. Very interesting. You could send the police. You could spend more money dedicated to security, buy more guns, or you could give it to Andrea Raska, a friend, who transformed it into this. What did he do? In brief, well, he collected all the street food by the Italians in London, all is a big word, and brought them here without paying rent. He painted the factory. And I brought a friend from Germany who built 2 silos of beer. I think many of us would like to appreciate German beer. And they're huge. They're really like, bigger than this room. And the abundant newspaper factory full of drug dealers is actually like that now. It's a European heart in the South Bank of London. I really invite you to visit Mercato Metropolitano. Yeah? And the culture there and how you feel it, excuse me. Oh, yeah. It's okay. I can really use the... okay, no worries. It's okay. And the culture is completely different from the food court. No life. Yeah. Now, the third aspect, mobility. That's very interesting. Youth are fun. They would like to have fun. You would like to have fun. I will come back to speak about the Guna. But like, you would walk here. You are completely tuk-tuk dependent, right? Excuse me. Guna tuk-tuk dependent because it's different. Okay. You are completely fuel dependent. And there are some bikes. You can take bikes. But like, actually it's about distances. Or it's about many things. There are many variables to consider before calling yourself friendly to any user of the services of the city. Okay? Whether you would like to walk or whether you would like to cycle, whether you go. But everything is justified. So there's actually not really only right or wrong. People are different and they have different cultures. So if someone from here, might find himself going out in another city and there is no actually cars. There are only bikes. You are in the middle of Netherlands. And you're like, wow, these guys are crazy. I want my car, right? Now, you will not be happy. So did the planner succeed or not? So it's a different perspective. Like, these are 10 lanes in the middle of Moscow. Yeah, let's just imagine a bunch of people here, like we're in an imaginary world, coming out of university or school, high school, and they're enjoying their life there. But there's also other group here, and every time they would like to tell like each other, of course they can mobile also, but they would like to have fun. They would like to cross 10 lanes, highway in the middle of Cairo, yeah, in the middle of Moscow. Actually, there is a very similar pattern here in Cairo, in the highway called Autostrad in Nasr City, yeah. And of course, right and left side of the highway, actually there's no life whatsoever, right? One is Nadi Zuhur Bain, and the other one is like a military zone. So, and let's go to, the next one. It's okay, this one. Well, of course, like below all over Europe. So now I will stop with the presentation. I just wanted to avoid being in another planet and bring us back here. Okay. So it's very interesting that in Guna, it's written outside, urban development, water, and energy. And today I was talking with Miss Caroline. Miss Caroline. Yeah, she's not here. Okay. And urban development is perceived from the energy and from the water. But it's actually about how the planner would listen to the different needs, desires of his users. Okay. So Noor was just speaking before that. And I guess there is a very interesting to see how this could actually help develop urban planning in a different way. And I think I heard from Salma about Mark, right? For peace. And it's very interesting, the example of Mercato Metropolitano is violence inside the city. Yeah? So it would be very interesting to see how you solve, for example, the harassment, right? All over with beauty rather than ugliness and security. It's very interesting, yeah? Okay. I think that's actually what I wanted to say. Youth are about fun, expression, and being important. Yeah. So if you surface or suppress any of those areas, other people will fill in. So we're just talking with Salma, like, there are people like Salma that would organize this. And there's actually space. This is a room. There's a space that would need to be used anyway. It will have its own destiny, its own evolution. So, or you fill it with Salma, or when you do not allow Salma to fill it, it will be filled by someone else. So the space is just like, it has its own life. Yeah? Thank you for that. Cheers.